Everybody, and welcome to this LinkedIn Live. I am so excited to be here, and the reason why is that this is my very first LinkedIn Live solo, and I'm looking forward to doing many more of these. So my name is Victoria Reynoldson, and before we get fully going today, I'm just going to double check that everything is working smoothly, that I am going live. So just give me a minute while I double check that I'm live on LinkedIn. So just give me a second and I'll just double check that. That's it. So it looks like I am live. That is amazing. Fantastic. So I am really excited to be here today. As I said, my name is Victoria Reynoldson. I am going live for the first time solo. So this is a bit of a new thing, a new experiment for me. And I'm really keen to get people involved in today's conversation. First of all, before we jump into the session, I want to just share a little bit about who I am and what I do. So I am a communication coach and cultural intelligence trainer. And I work with global professionals all around the world, helping them to elevate and amplify their communication skills for the next level, whether that is for leadership, for growing themselves, their careers, or even growing their own business. I also work with international teams to help them to connect through the power of cultural intelligence, to help them understand each other better, to understand themselves, and bringing teams closer together, being able to work closer together, again, to help them grow their business and grow their teams. So that's a little bit about what I do. And I've been running a podcast now for the last, goodness me, 18 months, something like that. But I was really conscious I hadn't been doing the live thing. So that's why I really wanted to have the chance to do this today and share just some more insights and give you the opportunity to get involved, to share your questions, and I can answer these as well. The intention is to be here for 10, 15 minutes, and I'm going to be really focusing in on one specific topic. So I'm going to have a topic, give you some suggested ideas and actions, practical actions for you to take away. I'd love for you to get involved. So please feel free. If you'd like to get involved today, you can play along with me. And then, as I said, answer your questions at the end. Now, today's topic is all about speaking. Which confidence spiral are you in? And this is an idea that I sometimes talk to my clients about because I think it's really helpful when you're experiencing confidence challenges when you need to speak. And when I'm talking about speaking, that could be, for example, public speaking, it could be presentations, it could be about how you're speaking up and sharing your voice in the different meetings that you're in. So it doesn't really matter what the context is, it's about your context, and you'll know whether you feel confident in those contexts. And what I want to share with you is that it's not like one day you wake up and you say, right, bing, I'm now confident and I'm going to stay confident no matter what. And I think that's really important to recognize, because I think sometimes when I speak with my clients, they see people who are brilliant speakers, whether they are leaders in their organization, whether they're people who are doing TED Talks, people that they follow who are really confident speakers, and they think that person was always confident. They were born like that. And I think the reality is, confidence isn't necessarily something people are born with. You can absolutely develop speaking confidence. And it's also really important to say that it's not just like a light switch that turns on and stays on no matter what. Yeah. So I think it's really, really important to recognize this. Oh, hi, I can see somebody's added a comment. Nice to see you too. So please, you're very, very welcome to add your comments to the chat as we go along. So it isn't really like this light switch that stays on. In fact, even the most confident speakers have their off days. They have the ups when they're feeling good. They have the downs when they're not speaking at their best, when they don't feel so confident. And then what I want you to think about, yeah, is an elastic band. There are some days when you can really stretch and you're feeling that speaking confidence and you're feeling really great. And there are just some days when it's like, and you're not feeling so good about it. So I'm really curious, if you're watching this live, you can play along with me on this one. Where are you today, this day, on your speaking confidence? Are you feeling it? Are you like at a number 10 and you're bouncing and you're doing really well with your speaking confidence? Or are you more like this today? Are you at a number 1? So if you're watching this live, put your number in the chat. Are you number 1? Anywhere between 1 and 10. Where are you with your speaking confidence today? To see if anybody's adding their numbers here. So wherever you are, and if you're watching the replay, just think about that number, somewhere between 1 and 10. I want you to know it's totally normal for that number to change. It won't be static. It will go up and it will go down. And even those people who look like the most confident ones, they equally have those ups and their downs, okay? So what does that mean then with the confidence spirals? Well, first of all, I want you to think about the negative confidence spiral. Fantastic. I can see somebody's written number 7. So that's brilliant. You know, you're in a sort of good place today. Perhaps there's some space for you to develop further. With the negative confidence spiral, I want you to think about, have you ever had this experience where you have been presenting, let's call it a presentation, and you're not feeling confident on that day? And what you notice is the voice in your head. And the voice in your head is telling you things like, this is really challenging. You're always finding presentations challenging. You're never going to get good at this. Has anybody felt like that before? Type yes or no into the chat, because I'm quite curious whether anybody's experienced that negative talk. And I think what's really challenging about it is that that voice often gets louder and louder, and it's really hard to concentrate on speaking when you've got that kind of chat going on in your head. And that kind of, those absolute statements, you're always doing this. This is never going to be easy for me. These are really hard statements. They're actually statements that are pulling us down. And that's what I mean by the negative confidence spiral. Yeah, I can see somebody is saying yes, they do experience this. So imagine that negative confidence spiral pulling you down, the voice, you know, in your head. And that's really tough place to be, right? So how do you pull yourself out of that? How do you pull yourself out of the negative confidence spiral? Well, the first thing I want you to recognize is accept it. Sometimes I talk to clients, they talk about fighting the voice in their head with this topic. And it's not very helpful because we get caught up in the drama and in the conversation in our heads. So the first thing is to accept it. And I want you to imagine you've got a big red pen and you're drawing the line, and that line is you're stepping over the line. So that is, you know what? I hear you, I accept you, and I'm going to move forward and do something different. So that is the first step, okay? The next thing I want you to ask yourself is, the voice that's been telling you these things in your mind about your confidence in speaking, is it true, the things it's saying? Is it true that you're never speaking well or you're never speaking confidently? is it true that you'll never improve? I remember a few years ago, somebody telling me about this acronym, which I thought was incredibly helpful, which was FEAR. F, false, E, evidence, A, appearing, R, real. FEAR. False evidence appearing real. And I thought this was a very helpful idea when it comes to speaking confidence, because we're often gathering evidence that we're not good speakers. When people are feeling that crisis of confidence, they feel like all of the evidence says they're not great. But actually, that evidence is coming from themselves. And it is so hard to be objective. So I really want you, if you experience this negative spiral of confidence, I want you to challenge yourself and ask yourself, is this true? Is it just false evidence appearing real? And then the third thing, which I want you to think about with this negative confidence spiral, is that to recognize you don't have to be perfect. Now, I confess I am talking to myself as much as to you. And perfectionism is something I know that many of my clients as well experience. They are often very talented, very ambitious people. And maybe you're one of those people listening today, whether you are working in corporate or you're a business owner, maybe you really strive to be the best. And that's great. I think having ambition is great. But when it comes to speaking, what we have to recognize is we don't have to be perfect. In fact, that idea of perfectionism in speaking is really very unhelpful, because that's when we compare ourselves to other people and we find ourselves maybe lacking. So I want you to step away from the 100% perfect idea. So that's the negative confidence spiral. So I'm kind of interested, for those of you who are listening live, do you recognize this? Have you experienced this negative confidence spiral at times? Now, I want you to think about the positive confidence spirals. This is where we want to be. This is where we lift ourselves up and out from the voice in our head that is damaging maybe the way that we're coming across in our speaking confidence. So how do we do this? How do we move ourselves forward? Well, the first idea that I want you to take away from today is to be super clear on what it is that you're trying to achieve. So whether you are on your career path, your own business development, growing the business that you're in, what does success look like to you? And how do your communication skills feed into this? Yeah. So I'm really I think this is so important that you're very clear about where does it help you? So when you think about speaking, how does it fit into you enabling your dreams, enabling the goals that you want to achieve? Because that's so important. If you have that motivation, you understand how it fits into the bigger picture of your goals and what you're trying to achieve in your life, then this is so important. The next step is feedback. And we talked about in the negative confidence spiral about this false evidence. Now I want you to go get some real evidence. So find people you trust. If you're working in a company, in a team, find people that you know and trust well, like your co-workers, your colleagues, your line manager, whoever it might be, and ask them for objective feedback. What do they think about your communication skills? And rather than a generic question, then make it more specific. Like, how did that go in that meeting, in that presentation? What did I do well? How could I improve? Absolutely, there will be things that you can improve, right? But if feedback is critical, and maybe some of you who are listening to this today have recognized that, like when you've received genuine feedback, that has been super, super helpful to you, okay? And by the way, if you don't have anybody you can ask, please come ask me. I'd be really happy to help. So I can give you objective feedback about your communication skills. So just feel free to reach out, to message me, okay? And then the final thought I want to leave with you for your positive confidence spiral is that it's about taking that step on the journey to improving. You can't become a confident speaker overnight. That absolutely isn't true. Just in the same way that if you're training for a marathon, you're not just going to go, okay, tomorrow is the day, I'm going to go run the marathon. Okay. So, in the same way, speaking confidence is like going to the gym. You need to practice, you need to get the feedback, you need to develop all the time and take all of the opportunities that you have to speak. So if you're that person, and I do have some clients like this who slightly try and avoid speaking, try not to do it. I would say, like, turn this around, see this as the opportunity, go back to step one of the positive confidence spiral, recognize what speaking is going to do for your career and for your business. Okay. Fantastic. So I want to know, does that positive confidence spiral resonate with you? Is it something that really lands with you today? Yeah, let me know in the comments. Just having a quick look through the other comments. Fantastic. Yeah, I can see somebody saying, yeah, it's with negative thinking, it's the all or nothing thinking. Absolutely. Completely agree with you there. So as we come to the end of today, I want this to be very, very practical for you. So I want you to consider, where are you today from 1 to 10 on your speaking confidence? Really recognize where you're at literally on this day, Friday the 15th of March, and then check in with yourself, maybe at different points next week, how you're feeling, and recognize those ups and downs are totally okay. Seek out the feedback. Really make sure that you get feedback on how you're objectively doing today, and then take the step forward. Recognize every small step is going to help you to achieve that vision that you have for yourself. Now, I hope this has been helpful for you today. It's been brilliant to have some people live, and I know some of you will be watching this on the replay. What I want to share with you as well is, if this particular topic resonates with you and you know this is something you need to go deeper on and that you want to develop your speaking confidence further, then I have something brand new that I'd love to share with you. I'm launching a brand new public speaking confidence circle. And what that is a very informal, safe, and supportive space for you to practice your presentation skills, your public speaking skills, and get my feedback. Yeah. So the idea is, it's a small group and we come together so that you can feel more relaxed and confident when you need to speak in public or when you do your presentations. Now, this is for you if you are a global professional who is developing your career and you're already doing some speaking, whether it's presentations, whether it's meetings. I want you to already have some experience. The idea is that we're going to come together on a regular basis and we're going to be really focused in on the practice element. So it's all about you doing the speaking, and then you get the chance to get my feedback on your skills, how to improve, how to really build up that confidence. And the idea is, it's a relaxed space. So it really is about supporting you on that journey, providing you with feedback, but in a way that is constructive and helpful to you. Now, if that sounds like that's something for you, then for sure, I'd love to share some more details with you. So feel free to reach out to me, message me after this live, and I can send you the details. But please bear in mind, because of the type of structure that it is, this circle is going to be a very small circle. So I'm going to have a maximum of 6 spaces. So, please make sure that you reach out if this is something of interest. Well, as we come to the end of today, I really appreciate you listening in to this LinkedIn Live. I've really enjoyed this. It's been brilliant to be going live, chatting to people who are joining here. And if you're watching this on the replay and you have any specific questions at all, please reach out to me on the message. You can do that on LinkedIn. My personal profile is Victoria Reynoldson. And it's been an absolute delight to be here today. So thank you so much for joining me. It's been great to see everyone. And yeah, just want to wish you happy Friday and a really great weekend ahead. And I'll look forward to seeing you soon for another LinkedIn Live. Bye.